is wholesale murder of our own people. And yet we're just kind of, oh, well, Osama bin Laden's dead. I mean, that is by design that they keep this on for, now, what is it, 10 days on the radio, on the television and radio for you to listen to ad nauseum? I mean, when Nancy Grace is covering Osama bin Laden's death, you know something's wrong on headline news. I mean, this is horrible, listeners. Kathy, the president came down to show his concern for all of you in the Gulf. Talk to us about that visit.
I'll be honest with you. I think most of the people that he spoke to, he took small businesses. I knew some of the people that he actually spoke with. There were some restaurant owners and things. And, he sort of offered his condolences and listened, but I really believe it went in one ear and out the other because they didn't do anything to help anyone in the area. I mean, his purpose for coming down here was to say enough's enough. The oil spills over onto other things. And the minute the president said those things, everything's safe. Look, here we are swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, which there's a lot of question about that.
Okay, but wait a minute. You say there's a lot of question about that. He made it very obvious that he was swimming with no shirt on in the Gulf of Mexico there. That swim supposedly took place. Do you think it did?
I do believe it took place, but my local sources tell me that the area that he swam was not actually direct Gulf access, which would mean that there was not a direct waterway to the Gulf at the spot that he was swimming.
Oh.
The news cameras, which there was plenty there the day that he was interviewed him in one area, and then when the cameras actually specifically said, are we going to be able to see you swimming in the Gulf? He said, my news team will be there. My news team will be there. Those are important words. So why is it that all the news people couldn't have been there if everything was on the up and up?
Good point. Right. Now, but the other thing is he had a shrimp poor boy from the Gulf.
That's correct. Knowing what I knew about the shrimp that were coming in from the boats at that time, like we had friends that had water behind their boats with oil bubbling up behind them and oil on their nets and on their seafood that they were bringing in and going, you've got to be kidding, you're putting this on the market when things first opened up in like August and September in Louisiana. There is no way. I mean, they're very protective of our president and his family. There's just no way that those shrimp had come off of those boats, fresh. I would say they were either predated, which is no problem, freezing shrimp for a while. They could have been pre-oil spill, or they could have been shipped in from another area in the Gulf, maybe the southern Gulf, maybe the Keys or somewhere there, which they really don't get shrimp down there, but there's got to be another place that got them from, maybe even a fish farm. But I know that, they're very careful about what the president eats. And,
yes.
We were there. If you look on changingtheendgame.org, there is a picture of a little girl holding a sign, and it says, Our Fishermen, and it shows a picture of a boat, and it looks like the boat's crying bloody tears. That was a poster that I made. My family and I, that's my daughter, we went to Panama City the day that the president was there speaking, invited him to come to our area to speak to us about what was really happening and what was the truth. And he didn't come. We had ABC, NBC, and CNN show up. ABC and NBC stayed. CNN, after they heard a little bit of what we had to say, pouring our hearts out, said, come on, let's go. They weren't interested. CNN was not interested in reality.
Oh, my gosh. We've got a lot of callers waiting to talk to you. You